Welcome back. Well, James Manny, of course, our co-host, editor and publisher of Mediaweek, has all the details of the first radio rating survey of the year. James, let's have a look through them. Of course, Sydney there, 2GB leader there, but a fall there for it.
Yeah, look, a lot of talk about Alan Jones and Ray Hadley losing some share. Look, the station was overall down a little bit, but certainly nothing to worry about. You need a trend of a few surveys, so GB still in control. Probably WSFM is the interesting one to watch. It's lifted up. It's now within a point of Today FM, so that's an interesting one there. Jonesy and Amanda doing the hard-working breakfast there to help lift the station.
All right, let's have a look at Melbourne, and 3AW also saw a fall.
Yeah, again, a lot of press about Tom Elliott taking over from Darren Hinch in Drive. Yeah, look, his numbers were down, the station was down a little bit overall, but again, nothing really to be too worried about there. Interesting one to watch is Nova, which again has crept up on Southern Cross's Austereo market leader, and they trail by just less than a point too.
All right, let's have a look at the Brisbane market, and there was a slight fall for 97.3 FM.
Yeah, but they also took the #1 slot in breakfast up there with Robin, Terry and Bob. So one of the quiet ARN achievers doing very well, and ARN's a sort of music AM station. 4KQ had a pretty good survey too.
All right, and so what were they sort of taking from some of those other?
Yeah, the FM up there, Nova came off the boil a little bit. Their breakfast lost top spot. B105 still in a bit of trouble, dropped back into single figures in that market.
Let's have a look at Adelaide there, and a nice lift for Mix.
Yeah, look, another one of the ARN, we like to call them the quiet achievers, but they're causing some real havoc in some of those markets. Jody, Mark and Snowy took #1 slot, knocked 5AA off the top. 5AA's been #1 in Adelaide since about 2004, I think. So it's been a long time. Mix has been #1 overall for ages, but to grab that breakfast leadership will really make a few dollars difference to their sales teams.
And in Perth, gains for all of the top 5.
Yeah, well, everybody. It was a good survey for everybody there in Perth. I guess 96 FM is the station to watch there. If they get their breakfast together, Ian Blackley, Blackers, Carmen and Fitzy, if they get that show firing, and 96 is really nicely poised to tackle the sort of perennial champ Mix over there.
All right. Thanks for that, James. Well, now to, of course, news we're following this week. A memorial is going to be held this weekend to celebrate the life of veteran journalist Peter Harvey, who passed away last week after a battle with cancer. So, James, obviously, so well regarded, so well respected and liked in the industry, and what an example really of just how important news and television is in the lives of many.
Yeah, just how it's really embedded in everybody's lives, that evening news bulletin, and everybody's just familiar with Peter Harvey and his great work on 9 News over the years, his time in Canberra, his time on 60 Minutes and the mailbag at the end of the show. Yeah, so he'll be sadly missed, but I think the sort of Harvey traditions is probably in safe hands there with his kids. Claire, of course, deputy editor at the Sunday Telegraph, wrote a really great tribute to father in last Sunday's paper, and son Adam used to be on the staff at Sky News.
Yeah.
I worked with him briefly over there in Perth when we went over there to do a show. He looked after us. He's a great kid, and I think he's at the ABC now.
And so continuing that Harvey journalism tradition.
Yeah, that's sort of the name will live on in Australian journalism, which is great.
And who are some of the people that have been remembering Peter Harvey?
Peter Overton in particular, 9 Sydney newsreader, Liz Hayes, Mark Burrows, some of his colleagues here who've worked for a long time with him in the Sydney newsroom. Special memorial service on Saturday. I think we'll get to hear from a lot more people just about what Peter, how much he meant to them and how good he was in their career. And we've talked to some of those people in the magazine this week, and they talk about the work he did with people in the newsroom, especially newcomers who joined the business. He knew everybody, but he'd go and spend the time with people he didn't know, and just make sure they were okay and help them out.
Yeah, be really missed. Just turning to some other news that we had this week in the magazine space, and Bauer Media has appointed the editor of Elle Australia, of course, coming in later this year in October, Justine Cullen. How tough a job does she have ahead of her? Well,
yeah, she does, but I think it's been beaten up a little bit this year. It's tough for any magazine out there. There's going to be a lot of resources behind Elle Australia. You've got 3 partners involved, the licensees, you've got Bauer here, and you've got Hearst, the joint venture partner, so they'll all be doing their best. They've cleared the decks a little bit with one magazine going. Grazia, we're hearing Madison is sort of being looked at if that's going to sort of stay around. So I think there'll be room for it in the market, but will it survive? Well, it'll be just down to how good the content is. If they can put out a great magazine that really targets the market they're after, yeah, people will buy it for sure.
We've had speculation too that BBC Worldwide is about to sell its majority control of the Australian travel publisher Lonely Planet.
Yeah, look, there's been no confirmation of that, but a Kentucky billionaire is apparently the person who's going to be taking it over. And we're not sure if BBC Worldwide will keep a sort of a stake in it, or they'll let their whole shareholding go. We're not sure of that, but it's a Melbourne-based travel company, of course, which the BBC invested in quite a few years ago now. But they look like, as sort of BBC carefully looked at all investments, they don't see that as a core shareholding, so it looks like it's on the block.
Google Australia too, it's lost its managing director to Google France.
Yeah, Nick Leader, he's married to a French woman, so he's taking the opportunity to go over there, and he'll be departing here and going onto the continent.
All right, let's have a look at TV ratings. Lots to talk about too in this space. Ratings for week 9 for free-to-air, top 10 first My Kitchen Rules, James. Always dominating these past few weeks, isn't it?
It's going to continue through to Easter. 7 had 9 of the top 10 spots. The blocks, though, come on really well in the past week. It's set some record audiences, so it's doing nicely. It's a solid second, but it's doing very well there.
Let's have a look at the subscription top 10 for week 9. Cricket, obviously a big popular show there for Fox Sports.
Yeah,
at 3.
Game's finishing a little earlier than Fox Sports
yes.
would like in India. But,
unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's rating very well the days it is actually on. A little bit of NAB Cup there, and The Walking Dead, I think, is probably the one non-sports program managed to muscle its way into the top 10 this week.
And just on sports, we've seen Fox Sports launch the NRL season, both 9 and Fox Sports covering exclusive games in the first round. And what is Fox Copter? What's Patrick Delaney come up with now?
Well, it's a little copter. They developed it for the cricket, and they've used it a little bit over the summer, and it's virtually hovers above the field, and Patrick Delaney showed off a reel this week, and the ball actually goes quite close to it, so he said, yeah, we'll have to review how actually low we take this to the field. Okay. So they've got to be a bit careful. They've also got a corner post cam. The referee is wearing a ref cam. He's wearing a device on his ear, a little bit like the Google Glass they're developing, so it's a camera that sort of replicates your vision. They've also got a Segway which sort of goes up and down the sidelines there of the game. So yeah, it's all amazing technology. A massive investment from Fox Sports, and they're looking to do really well out of their rugby league coverage in 2013.
Just staying with Fox, with sports as well, News Corp revealing the launch date and the name of its new sports network to challenge ESPN. Yeah,
Fox Sports 1 it's going to be called, so echoing a little bit what we've got here with the Fox Sports 1 channel. About mid-August that comes off, and yeah, we'll be looking to sort of make some money out of that sports sector, much the same way ESPN does, but they're careful to say, look, we don't want to take on ESPN, but we just want to be in that same space, I guess getting some of those advertising dollars and eyeballs that ESPN grabs.
James, as always, thank you so much.
Thanks,
James Manning there from Mediaweek. That's all we have time for from the team here. Thanks for your company.